Hey, folks. Thought I'd record a quick little shout out to some stuff that's been going on right now. As we said here today, it's been a hell of a year already. Um, Chaos at the Capitol, world's falling apart. Um, it's a strange world we're living in, but I want to speak a little bit about faith, salvation, and serenity. Um, so most of you know I hit my 2 year mark on my sobriety uh, the 31st. And my life's been filled with a little bit of uncertainty myself. My oldest daughter and I aren't speaking right now. My wife has um, taken a break and for all intents and purposes, has moved out. Um, and I mean, shit, the world is just completely falling apart right now. I've never been so disappointed to be an American in my entire life, which is hard for me to say because you know I raised my hand and swore on the Bible that I would defend the Constitution, and for me to even say that, just it breaks my heart, because I don't understand what's going on in our government right now. Um, it's complete and total chaos. This whole COVID thing. I mean, it's just a crazy, crazy world we live in right now. But I'll tell you something that's going right for me. Um, is my spiritual journey that I'm on. Um, I don't know if I associated most with being being an agnostic or being an atheist. Um, I kind of thought there was a God, but I wasn't really sure. But I really turned my back on God a little bit, told him to fuck off in my past because I'd gone through some trauma when I was younger and didn't really understand how, if there was a God, I could go through that. But there starts my journey. 3 weeks ago today, my wife uh, left me. Uh, I'm not going to go into all the reasons because I really don't want any blowback on her because um, I have fault in quite a bit of that now that I realize. But, let's just go over the things that I've done since she left. I have started the process to become a Mason. I started taking anger management. I started taking Krav McGraw. I started boxing. I've taken hot yoga. I have started reading scripture, following a strict diet. I am investing everything in me to change the flaws that I know that I have or that have been brought to my attention. And over the past 3 weeks, it's been kind of crazy. It's been a little uncertain. I'm fighting for my marriage, just so you'll know. I haven't given up on that, but I'm having to do it by working on me and trying to be here for my wife, which is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Because this form of fighting basically means stepping back and letting go. Um, and so that brings me to my search for salvation and my search for serenity. I first heard about serenity in my rehab class when I checked myself into rehab 2 years ago. And then through AA, I heard about serenity, and I really just didn't even know what the hell that was. But I've been seeking it through different forms. And then there's salvation, and right. So I've been seeking salvation as well, but not fully understanding how to do that. And then yesterday, I had one of those aha moments. Now, I've had a couple of them, right? I don't know if y'all have heard the story about my wife praying for me to get my attention on an epic scale, and my daughter having a dream that I met Justin with Blue October, and he hugged me and we became friends. But um, a year ago now, maybe it's a year and a half ago, I actually had the opportunity to meet Justin with Blue October through a raffle and won. And that's the day that God spoke to me. That's the day that he came into my life. 6 months before that, I fell on my knees and asked him to come into my life and to show me. And then I promised him that if he would come into my life, that I would spend the rest of my life, the remaining portion of my life, telling my story and speaking to try to help whoever I could in whatever way I could. And when I first started that, I thought it was veterans. I thought I could help veterans, right? Um, Depression has hit me, PTSD has hit me, alcoholism has hit me. I was in a dark, dark, bad place, and I found the courage to get through all of that through Justin's songs with Blue October, and all I wanted to do was get a chance to meet him, and I did. And when I met him, I'll be damned if he didn't hug me and remember me. And I got a chance to say thank you. And he told me that day that I had a voice and that I should go out and spread my word to the world. And I really didn't have anything to say. I didn't have anything to really talk about, I thought. But it turns out that I have a lot to talk about. It turns out that that day God's been working on me in small, little, subtle ways that before maybe He always has been, but my eyes weren't open, and now my eyes are wide open, and I'm smiling today because everything I'm going through right now, I almost have to laugh at and chuckle because it's so bizarre. Um, I have had so many people put in my life. My Colin McGraw instructor ended up being a pastor, and he introduced me to a gentleman by the name of Lance that's doing my anger management. It turns out that Lance is a Christian, and that the anger management class that I signed up for is Christian based. I didn't even know that. The book we're reading from is about it's standard class. I've taken anger management before, but it has a spiritual base. And what I'm finding is I'm finding that I can lose my temper less by letting it pass through God first, right? So there's that. The people that are put in my place, I've had two really good friends in my past that were kind of crazy, and I talked to them, and they both said that they've been able to calm down and find themselves through Scripture and through finding spirituality. One of them talked me into taking a hot yoga class, and so I go to this hot yoga class on Sunday, and she backs out, of course, for whatever reason, and I go to walk in, and I'm the only guy in there, and I'm petrified. Not only that, freaking hard class, right? So, I mean, I know I'm about to be challenged because these freaking women that do yoga are strong. And let me tell you something, man. I don't care how strong you fucking think you are. Those girls will whip our ass. They are so strong. I cannot even imagine being that strong. I hope to be. But I took this class and I went in there and I took the class and it was hard as shit. I couldn't even do three-quarters of the class. Now, let me tell you something. As I said here today, I've lost 28 pounds. I'm taking Colin McGraw. I'm taking boxing. I'm in the best shape that I've been in probably 5 years. And that class whipped my ass, physically, mentally, and spiritually, which is what I want to talk about, right? I've been doing all this soul searching. I've been working on trying to look on the outside like I feel on the inside. I'm starting to feel amazing, and I have more energy. I have more clarity. The mental fog is gone. All these issues that I've been wrestling with, anxiety, depression, PTSD, that I've taken pills for and therapy and all that, it's all kind of faded to the back. And I think it's because of the spiritual journey that I'm on. And, I'm seeking God, but there's more to it, right? My ketamine shots, when I took it, I felt like I was connected to the inner universe, and something told me that the universe is alive and breathing. And I've heard some scientists say that they think that too, and I'm starting to really believe that, because what I'm able to forecast or what I'm able to manifest in my mind that I put out in the universe kind of happens. And so here I am in yoga on Sunday, and I take this class, and it's super hot. I want to quit, and I'm sweating, and I'm fatigued, and I'm just exhausted. And I get through this class, and the last 10 minutes is a cool down, and it turns on the air, and this instructor's voice starts going through, and it's so calming, and we're focusing on our breath and our chakra and our third eye. I don't even know what any of that is, really, to be honest with you. My wife used to tell me I needed to listen to all this, and I didn't do it. I'm just going to tell you right now, I didn't, because it was so foreign to me, and I I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to do whatever this instructor tells me, and I did, and I laid there and I focused on my breathing and I relaxed, and all of a sudden I started crying like a flipping baby. I mean, I couldn't stop crying. All this emotion, the music, the scenes, the air. It was like when that cold air hit me, it was like God's breath, soul, I don't know, entered my body, and all the all the hurt and fear and anger and anxiety came out as tears. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I felt close to God, close to nature, close to I can't explain it. I don't even know. So there I sat, and I'm lost, man. I hadn't cried in 3 days. I've been on a good path, and I just was just emotional. I put my towel over my head, and I kind of snuck out, and I'm sitting there on the bench, just sobbing. And an old high school friend of mine that happens to be a psychiatrist sat down beside me, and she goes, "Are you okay?" Like, no, I'm. I don't know what happened. I was fine going in, and now I'm all upset. And she chuckled, and she said the same thing happened to me. She goes, yoga has kept me alive, and it's the spiritual connection that you feel is just amazing, and has completely changed my life. And I sat there, and her and I talked, and talked about God. I mean, I don't want to say her name, but we've known each other since seventh or eighth grade, I guess, and I've never had an emotional conversation with her like that. We've known each other, we've run into each other, we've stayed in touch, but um, the words that she told me and what she told me about it made me feel better. It made me feel like I was on the right path, right? And it's funny because her best friend's the one that talked me into yoga, and she's on this spiritual journey. And the barber that I ran into is on this spiritual journey, and I've got all these people that are falling into my place to where they're all on this journey, and it seems like we're all on this journey together. And I don't know what to think about it because I've never experienced anything like this, right? I've never had this going in, and all my good friends, Will and Barry, and it's like we're all on this little path together. And then, so that whole day I feel enlightened, I feel different, I feel changed, I feel like this weight's off my back, and I've got this like warmth or energy about me. And so I go through that day, I'm feeling pretty, just motivated, motivated at work, motivated at life, motivated at fixing me. I'm positive. I don't know where that came from, I mean, I've never really been positive. I've not been negative. I don't blame anybody for any of my faults or weaknesses or anything that I've gone through, but I just wasn't one to see light at the end of the tunnel. Rainbows don't shoot out my ass until Sunday. Um, I'm pretty sure some shit shot out my ass, and I got this aura, this glow, because people are telling me they see a change in me, and the way I carry myself and smile, and I don't know. So that night, I sat down to read some of the 12-step program, and my mentor's been sending me things, and I started to read scripture, and I remembered that my Krav Maga instructor said that I needed to read Psalm, and so I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but um, so I started to read, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up, um, and I'm sorry, that was Saturday. I took out yoga. Oh, this is Saturday, not Sunday. I woke up Sunday, and I was like, I'm going to the gym. Well, I went to the gym, mixed my pre-workout like I always do, sitting in the parking lot. I just decided to read. So I pull the Bible up on my phone, start reading. I decided to read the whole chapter. I get to a chapter, and I'm sitting there reading, and my phone goes off, and a good buddy of mine, Adam, sends me a quote from the exact damn page that I'm on, and said, I don't know why, but I've been thinking about you, buddy, and I thought I'd send this. Now, look, he's new to this, too. He's new to reading in scripture and everything else. So here I am, veteran, right? Hardened man, tough at a moment in my life where I'm actually not tough. And I've learned through therapy that I overcompensate, and my male bravado and my male ego is so up there because I am, here it comes, ready? I am scared, and I am uh, afraid of, and I'm vulnerable, and this is why I've got this tough exterior, because I'm overcompensating, because I feel insecure. Never thought of myself as insecure. I've been called arrogant, cocky, asshole, full of myself. I've never even thought about that I'm insecure. So I'm learning all this. I'm also learning that I learned to love broken, and that I don't know how to love correctly, and that I've got to relearn that. Right? So I've learned all this stuff, and maybe that's what came rushing out on Sunday is all these thoughts, because this is all new. I'm learning how to control my temper. I'm learning, where I did this. I'm learning what my role is, how I have developed over the years is completely wrong, and my defense mechanisms have come out, and I've got these walls and these barriers, and that's why I'm so standoffish or an asshole or whatever. So here I sit in the parking lot, call Adam, let him know what's going on, and we share conversation, and I'm just like, how crazy is this? I mean, this just doesn't, things like this just don't happen, out of circumstance. Um, Everything happens for a reason. And I have been praying like I've never prayed before. I probably prayed 20 or 30 times a day. But this is the first time that I've ever picked up a book and read scripture. My wife and I read devotionals together, and then I would read the scripture that's in that. But I mean, get to the Bible and do this, and it made a lot of sense to me. I have a hard time believing in scripture. I have a hard time believing in the Bible. Um, but it made me feel good. So I'm like, what's the negative to reading? What is it? Nothing. I go into the gym, I'm feeling good. I've decided I made a personal goal to myself. I want to lose 20 more pounds and be, 200 pounds by my birthday in June, and that I want to run 3 miles again, so that I can run a 3K or 5K like I used to do, and average 10-minute miles. Well, I was running, and all of a sudden I felt all this energy. I've been cramping up. I couldn't even barely make it a mile, right? And I'm running 20-minute miles. But here I am. I'm running, and I'm feeling great. And I'm on pace to do a 12-minute mile. And I I feel happy, and I just felt. I look up at the clock, and it's 11:11, and I smiled because that's my wife and I's thing. 11. It's this. It's an 11. And yes, that's tattooed on my finger, because I want to remember that I need to have faith, and trust the process, and whatever you want to label it. It's basically I need to have faith on what's to be. Um, and the prayer that I said was, "Dear Lord, could you please allow my heart and my thoughts and the warmth that I feel in my heart and my work and my efforts and everything to find my wife, and find her when she's in a good place, and in a happy place and able to receive this. I miss her. I miss our conversation. And I wish she was here to see the hard work that I'm doing, and let her know that it's for me and that she's a big part of why I got here." I haven't heard from her. I haven't really heard from her, in about 3 weeks. I pursued her until I let go and let God, which I mentioned, a week ago, to try to give her some space. And she texted me to check on me a minute later. 1 minute later. "I just want to make sure you're doing okay." I almost came off the treadmill. I couldn't believe, or I couldn't believe it. I mean, all I wanted to do was communicate. I just want the lines of communication. I miss my best friend. I miss, um, I miss our deep conversations. You know, uh, I miss so much. The warmth, the strength, the calmness that she brought to me. Because used to I had to be able to have her around to be calm. But here I am calm, and it has nothing to do with her. And I've prayed this prayer every day since she left. But yesterday at 11:11, actually 11:12, she reached out to me, and I realized that I'm on the right path. I'm on the right journey. Um, there's more to it. We ended up talking yesterday or texting back and forth about about her path and my path, and it felt so good to be able to share it. To share something other than expenses, negativity, what's going on in the world, rage. You know, where am I in my sobriety? Most anything to do with me. On a negative aspect. This was just about enlightenment and spirituality and God. And she let me know that she missed my conversations too, and that she was proud of me. And man, it meant the world. So why am I telling you all this? I have been seeking my serenity in the gym. I've also been finding my salvation in the gym. And since I have devoted myself into not eating bad, working out, praying, being a better man, just focused solely on me, um, things are falling into place. My eyes are open, and I notice little signs all over. And so here I am going through one of the hardest things I've ever gone through in a world that's fallen apart, and I'm still finding a reason to smile. And these videos are not about me. It's not so you can feel sorry or, uh, you know, I don't know. It's not about me. I share this because I can't believe the only motherfucker out there that's going through this stuff. I know I'm not. And 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was suicidal. I was a drunk. I was on the verge of losing everything. I was depressed. I'd given up. I never thought I thought I was gonna die. I was gonna either get in a car wreck, I was gonna kill someone, I was gonna run my truck off of a bridge, I was gonna die in my sleep, or I was going to kill myself through alcohol poisoning or some other alcohol related death. And I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I certainly didn't see God as part of it. I mean, that just, so for me to sit here today and share this uh, is a small miracle. So hang in there, whoever you are that needs this video. Hang in there. The craziest shit happens when you have faith. I want you to know I'm still going to cuss. I'm still going to do that and consider myself a Christian, but I got to keep it real, and I got to use my personality. So here I am, smiling because it's a fucking lot easier to smile than it is to cry or to frown. And just letting y'all know that it's going to be okay. You've got to have faith. You've got to put yourself first. You got to put God first. Then you got to work on yourself. And you've got to believe that the journey is real. You've got to trust in something bigger than yourself. And you've got to know that you're here for a reason and that you have the ability to touch people and change people. And so I hope this video helps you today, helps you find hope, and helps you to push through one more day. Because if I can do it, you can do it. God bless.